But I definitely want to just give you this platform and just talk about a little bit of what you're doing with Primetime Scouting and how you got into it.
Sure. Well, thank you guys for having us on OneFaith Radio. It is truly a blessing. Well, pretty much what happened. Many moons ago, for people who don't know, and some of us do who are watching, I was a track and field All-American in high school and in college. I was recruited by every Division I school in the country: Stanford, Nebraska, Tennessee, you name it, Georgetown. Every school from Maine to Florida on the whole East Coast was after me. But the University of Pittsburgh, they came after me really hard in Texas A&M. So I only had 2 visits left to take because I was running every weekend. So I ended up going to Texas A&M, a little far from mom and dad, you know. So I went to Pitt, a little closer. One of my teammates ended up being Lee McCray, world record holding 55-meter dash. He went there. And also a big brother of mine, like I said, Roger Kingdom, the speed coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he went there as well. So I followed after them, went up, and it ended up working out for me. 6-time All-American, 1 gold, 2 bronze internationally. And then Jesus did a miracle. Haven't played football since the 8th grade, and I walked into the NFL. I played with Pittsburgh, New England. I'm an original Panther from the first team in the Jets. And y'all don't have to clown me about my Steelers like that. You ain't got to do that. You know, that was unnecessary. I saw the whole game. My little feelings were hurt. And, you know, my wife's going to clown me because she one of them boys, them doggone Cowboys fans.
I'm a Cowboy fan, coach.
Now I'm about to take you off.
Every time. They all delusional. What? Nobody going to say, TJ? He's going to say, hey, next year, what y'all going to do? Win the Super Bowl.
Right. Every year. Every year.
3-13 go out.
Yeah, we still got 5.
13-3 go out. It don't matter. We going to the Super Bowl. That's all over here. They know 5 rings. They can count to 5. They can't count to 6 though. 6, 5. You tell me. I'm just saying.
I want no problems.
I had to get that in, but while I was running track, I was at the national championship, as crazy as it is, in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. We were all, or we normally, yeah, that's right, Bull City all day, every day. So, so we all of us who run for the Durham Striders, those of us who run for Hillside High School, we all gather at my godmother's sister's house, Brenda Armstrong. My godparents are Carl and Beverly Norman up in Cleveland. So when I got to Pitt, they took care of me. But while we were here, we always gather together there and, you know, get prepared for big meets, whatever, catch up with each other. So we doing what like we normally do. Everybody's going over to Doc's house. And I happened to go over there, and my roommate, Lee McCray, the world record holder, brings Mark Everett over. Now, Mark Everett ended up being so good at track and field, and he is the team leader and owner of Primetime Scouting. Mark made 3 Olympic teams, okay? That is the top 3 in America, and pretty much that's the top 3 in the world anytime you make an Olympic team. So he's been on the top list forever. Multiple world records, multiple world championships. I mean, the guy was ridiculous. He and I are talking the same guys you were talking, like we're talking now, and we hit it off. I mean, it was like we knew each other. We talked about 90 minutes nonstop, about 3 feet from each other. And both of us believe in getting rest because track and field is competition. Everybody hates you. So Mark said, I'm going to bed. I said, deuces. So I went to sleep too. I got 4th. He got 1st, you know. So, but we stayed in contact throughout social media, through Facebook. So in 2018, I got laid off from teaching at the school I've been at for 20 years at Kestrel Heights. So I happen to be looking at the video blurb. Mark does a 1 to 5 minute blurb every day. So I'm looking at it, and Mark's on there, and he says, hey, if you're a student or a student athlete and you would like to be recruited, inbox me. And if you're interested in being a scout, inbox me. So I go, huh? I've been trying to be a scout for 10 years. One of my good friends is Mitch Moser at Duke University, Big Mitch, I call him. Whenever my wife and I, we go to the games, he gets us there and we have a good time. But he's trying to get me a job in the athletic department, nothing. I call my other buddy out in California, nothing. My homegirl down in Tennessee, nothing. Everybody in the athletic department loves these jobs, especially scouting. They get to travel, watch the sport they love, get per diem in their pocket, and get paid at the same time. So they don't want to move. So I can't get in. I even try to get in with one of the biggest so-called scouting companies in the country with all the credentials. I've trained everything from Division I, Division II, Division III athletes, coach sports, but can't get hired. So I get on the phone with Mark, And we begin talking again. He tells me what I'm about to tell you. And I tell him, that's the most awesome thing I've ever heard in my life. I said, how do I become a part of the team? How do I help? How do I get down? Mark says, you're hired. I said, excuse me? He said, you're hired. I'm going to teach you. We're going to teach you how we scout on behalf of these kids and parents, the ones who get skipped over and looked over in prime time. So again, many moons ago, Mark was a Division III coach in Alabama. And for people who don't know, parents and everybody out there in TV land, radio, if you have a 3.0 and a fair ACT, SAT score, all of Division III schools will allow you to come to their university. They will give you an academic package, and you're allowed to go play any sport. I don't care if it's ping pong, baseball, basketball, they'll let you play it and do it. So Mark, he went to the University of Florida. Florida, big time, Gators, the whole thing. I went to Pitt, extremely, extremely large school as well. So for people who don't know about Division I track and field, we have normally 16 full scholarships. So Mark school, because they were Florida Gators, and I still hate them for this now, they're the only team I saw that had, you know, the names on the back of their jerseys, which is, I'm still mad about that. It was ridiculous and unfair, but that's life. But they had 30 full scholarships. I went to Pitt. I was one of the 16 full scholarships, but it was 40 people on the team. So, and the other kids are fighting for books, room and board, trying to gain any point in the conference championship to make their coaches happy and make the coaches give them more money. So Mark is coaching, and he's coaching at a meet, and he goes to one of his first meets, and he sees one team has 5 kids, another team has 7 kids. The big team only had 10. So Mark is confused. He runs up to those coaches and say, hey, guys, what's going on? Why are your team so small? They tell Coach Everett, Coach, we don't have a recruiting budget. We can't find the kids. We have a plethora of money to give away. We send emails, robocalls, texts, flyers, but we can't get the kids to come take a visit. We just can't find them. So Mark's been teaching, and actually he's been coaching for about 30 years and helping kids get in school. I've been doing the same thing at Kestrel Heights as a PE teacher, teaching kids how to research how, because I only had 3 months to figure out how to go to school. If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't have gotten college. I didn't know about scholarships were, you know, time sensitive, the whole thing. So Coach came up with PrimeTime Scouting and brought in a bunch of other scouts like myself. I'm allowed to talk about myself and maybe Coach Everett, but some other people, they are very covert. They don't want any credit. You will not even see them on the website. You might see a picture of them that volunteer their time, but all they want to do is help kids get into school. And they're very, very proud of the university, and sometimes it's a direct segue for their school. So he put all these guys together. We all came together, and we scout. Every scout in PrimeTime Scouting talks to at least 30 schools to 30 coaches every day. And every scout in PrimeTime works for every student athlete. So if there's a student athlete we have in Arizona, every scout in PrimeTime, everybody that you see on that website, they're working behind the scenes for that kid. A kid in Maine, Florida, we even have an international division with the great Diane Dixon that we can even help kids get over here and figure out how to go to school. So Mark looked around, and we all looked around, and we noticed there was one thing going on. There's a bunch of companies out here. But the issue with that is the other companies are, let's just say they're priced way, way too high for what they say they're going to do. Okay. So what we did, we lowballed everybody on the price. And then we gave everybody a money back guarantee. We're the cheapest company in the world, and the only one with a money back guarantee, that if a student or a student athlete that comes into PrimeTime, if we cannot find them a guaranteed scholarship, athletic, academic grants or whatever, we refund the parents 100% their money back, no questions asked. But there's one thing, guys, we are 100% in that area. We have never failed in finding kids a guaranteed scholarship to go to college. Never. I've been with this company going on 3 years in October. I've seen incredible things. Never. So kids, whether that's 80, 90, 50, we always go for as much as we can, 100, whatever. But we get scholarships for the kids. We get them recruited. We get them looked at by these universities, administration, coaches, that whole thing. So then there are many other facets to it as well. One of the other things we also do, we get the kids an internship inside their major. Now, I don't know about you guys, and I know we were talking earlier, there was a long time ago, I was a lot thinner than I am now, and I had hair. Now I don't have hair. I'm a little mad about that, but you know, they said bald and this big shiny thing is in, so I'm a rock with it. But while I was doing my first job interview, never forget it, just traditional black and white. For those who are my age, you know, you had your resume paper on that marble looking stuff. Your shoes are shining to perfection, sitting there with your legs crossed, fingers clasped. I'm nodding and engaging with the guy, trying to sell myself. So the gentleman who's interviewing me said, well, sir, you look the part. I say, thank you, sir. He also says that your resume is not bad either. I said, thank you. He said, and you also answered all my questions. I said, yes, I did. So now I've sat up now and I've braced myself for the final question. When do you start? That wasn't his question. He said, what's your job experience? Immediately, I did the Scooby-Doo. I ran track over internationally for 3 USA teams. I played pro football for Pittsburgh, New England, Carolina Jets. And at the church, I was affiliated up in Pittsburgh. We volunteered and we did gang intervention all the time. He said, that's nice and that's even cute, son. But what's your job experience? I said, sir, I don't have any. He said, it was nice talking to you. Have a nice day. Shook my hand. I walked out. I didn't get the job. I didn't get to check the track for a career, but our student athletes, whether they're in their sophomore, junior year, whether they stay at school or whether they come home for their break, they get that internship, a guaranteed internship. So now they don't just have a job track, but a track for a career. And we all know the reason why they have the intern program is so they can find who they want and they're going to hire you. So that's what you get. One of the many things that we don't do as students, excuse me, and student athletes, we do not vet the school or vet the coach and make sure it's the right fit. Now, we all who are from North Carolina, if I do this crazy fight song, which is not my favorite one, but everybody gonna know what I'm talking about. Dun, 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 dun. Them raggedy jokers down the street with that little Tar Heel. Okay.
Not raggedy.
I'm just saying what I'm saying. So everybody knows who that is. Now, you can try to get in there. Now, and that's fine. Or you can think that the coach is looking at you, but guess what? They just might not. 3 years ago, Carolina had 44,000 applicants worldwide. And you do the math on this, at $80 a pop to $50 a pop for your application fee and other fees. Now, that's just saying, okay, now we're going to look at you. Then next time we're saying we're telling you no. Okay. So now you stuck with that. Right. All right. There's nothing else you can do. You can't get in. But we vet the school, vet the coach, make sure it's the right fit. If a kid gets a letter in the mail, we're going to look at that administration person who sent it, anybody from behind the scenes, coaching, secretary, and we're going to find out, do they really want them, and save them from having to deal with paying out so much money for things. So vetting the school, vetting the coach is an incredibly important thing. Yeah. And a lot of times we mess up and go to the wrong school. Yeah. And you see it happen all the time. You're going to see right now, like you were just talking about, James Harden is going or whatever. That was in the works months ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When we first got back, when the season was over with, they were talking to who they were talking to, and bam, that's how it happens. Yeah. In our world, in scouting, that's called a transfer. Yeah. Okay. So just 2 years ago, when I was teaching at Millbrook High School, there were 600 transfers in Division I basketball alone. 600. So how much do you have for all these other schools? And in our Rolodex, we scout for all Division III, Division II, NAIA, JUCO, HBCUs, and prep schools, and a few mid-majors from here to there. And depending on talent, academics, maybe the school might be bigger, from here to Hawaii and Alaska. So we're vetting these schools all the time and making sure it's the right fit for the kid. But sometimes kids make a boo-boo and they go to the wrong place. One of our student athletes came in the program 3 years ago, and he would be considered, people talk about all that 5-star stuff. He's the #1 track athlete in the country, maybe #1, #2 in 800. He ran 149. For those who don't know, that's smoking. That's very, very fast for a high school kid. But college, that's a whole different story. So we negotiate the contracts for them, scholarships, and we get it down to about 5. So Coach Everett puts the scholarships in front of him. And he says, okay, son, this is what the scouts have found. This is what administration, compliance, Faith Graham Hart, she's excellent at the paperwork, all that stuff. So we put all that together for them and put it before the parents and say, okay, guys, it's your choice. We can't tell you where to go. We can only say that these are possibly the best fits for you. Where do you want to go? Well, that young man, he said, Coach Everett, I want to go to this SEC school right here. Of course, Coach Everett's eyes get huge and big like in a cartoon with Bugs Bunny and them, and he goes, son, Now, that's one thing in coach, we don't pull punches in prime time. We tell you what's real, where you are athletically, academically. We have to, because that's what schools are looking for. That's what coaches they're looking for, the real. What's real? Can they do this? Can they do that? Can they handle an academic load? Can they be coached hard? That type of thing. So Coach Everett tells them, son, if you go to that SEC school, and for people who do not know, the SEC conference is the nastiest conference in America. Yeah. They hate everybody. If you do not have a Tennessee jersey on, if you're not doing the Florida talk with Coach Everett and them down there, they say everybody else in the world is Gator bait. That's what they say. I'm just telling you, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. So any SEC school, they hate all the SEC schools and everybody else outside of it. I don't care if you play ping pong. It is the most competitive conference in the U.S. So Coach Everett tells them, we kind of tell them, son, you're going to get dead last every race. The young man says, no, coach, I can handle it. I can compete. I'm good. Now, there's one thing that we do that the other companies don't do. We follow our kids all the way through from beginning to end. We never let them go. I'm going to say that again. Beginning to end, we never let our students and student athletes go through this whole process. They are mentored, coached, tutored all the way through it. So we're watching the young man. We're looking at his academic performance in school. He's doing good, 3.5, but he's getting taken out to the woodshed like he stole some potatoes out of granddad's backyard. You know, he's getting his tail wore out, dead last, just like Coach Everett told him. Yeah. So Coach Everett picks the phone up and says, son, you ready to listen now? Kid drops his head, looks up. Yeah, coach, I'm ready to listen. So the 3-time Olympian, 3-time world champion, 3-time world record holder picks up the phone, calls another one of his Olympian buddies at another school down in the South, smaller school, another Division I, smaller school, better fit. So he says to the coach, his other Olympian buddy, hey, man, I got a kid. He runs 149, 150, and 800, and he has a 3.5 GPA. He said he wants to transfer. Do you want him? Coach tells him, coach, of course I want him. I'm going to give him 100% full scholarship to transfer right now. Now the kid is transferred. All the bills are paid, has the internship, and now he's back to competing in the top 3 to winning again, and now he's having fun again and enjoying it. And it's not a job. Yeah. It's nothing worse when you go to school and it becomes a job. It is very, very – a lot of people, they hate college. They don't, because they don't have the right people in their ear telling them how to get through certain things, certain issues, and all that stuff. So we do transfers. Another thing that we do in prime time, we do academic scholarships as well. And what a lot of parents don't know, that is the key and the secret to all things in universities. Yep. If they have high academics, the academic scholarship can far outweigh or exceed the athletic scholarship. It can be 110, 120, 130% or more. I mean, it can really be up there. So let's just talk about Campbell University here in Lillington, North Carolina, Little Baptist College, private school. Now, I have vetted Campbell myself. I have went there with my son. My son is Ellis. He plays for Tallahassee Community College. He is the #1 JUCO All-American in the country. He just signed 2 months ago to play at Louisville. He's in this program as well. All of my children are in this program. So all of my kids are going to get a guaranteed scholarship. I'm not paying that money. I'm going to use what I got. So being in this program has benefits. I have skin in the game like anybody else. So I have 4 kids, okay, 4, 21, 16, 15, and 10. All of them going to get in the guarantee. My 10-year-old, when he becomes of age, the guaranteed scholarship is sitting waiting for him right now. So academic scholarship can far outweigh, as I said. So let's just say we have a student athlete. Let's just say they play soccer, okay? And they have excellent grades, and they have a very high ACT or SAT score. And we negotiate with Campbell, and that finds out being the best fit, and they want them. They say, okay, coach, we ran out of athletic scholarships, but we got plenty of academic money. And since he fits that criteria, we're going to give him 130%. Well, this is what that equals to. The 100% is $41,000. That's room, board, books, everything's paid for. If you end up being in the honors program, that's a special dorm, special key, special library that you get to go study in, special computers, all of the trimmings. But now you have 30% left. That's $16,000. That hits the student account day one when the semester starts. And if you're a student athlete, you got 5 years to do 4. So all of that money and other grants that we find for kids, that comes into play. And you can't beat that with a stick. So we do a combination of those things with the athletic, academic, the whole 9 yards bit. But also because you're in prime time, you have access to every scout and every expertise they have, but we also get you discounts on services. So prime example, there's our tutoring service, or one of our tutoring services we have here, Mr. Stephen Harrison, who worked with me at Kestrel Heights, Greater Promise. His deal is this: anybody that comes in prime time, he gives them an incredible deal, incredible pricing for tutoring their kids, especially for the ACT and SAT. Anybody that gets in there and they do the tutoring with him, their points go up 50 to whatever. It just depends on, and people don't know that every little ACT, SAT point is money. I don't care if you had a 21 and it went up to 23, 24, you've just gotten thousands and thousands of dollars more. Yeah. And he gets it for them. He is a genius at what he does. He tutors kids. You can't beat it. And he also has, we try to find people to give you, if they can't give you money back guarantee, they give you the biggest deal they can. Mm-hmm. One of his deals is if you cannot, or you do not get that score you do or can get, he will let you take that portion over for free. Now that's, I don't know where you're going to find that at, but it's worth every last dime. I pay for my son to get tutored. He tutored my son. We call him, everybody calls him Manny. Everybody grew up with Manny running around Kesher chasing us. Manny has a 4.0 at Hillside High School as a freshman. Wow. Okay. And he struggled with math, and he has a 4.0 and everything. So next quarter, we're going to get him prepped up, ready to go and do things. But also, if you need a trainer, we recommend a trainer for you. They have to give you a discount. One of our student athletes, he needs a meal plan. Real big kid. He's actually one of my family members came into the program. So we got Sweet and Savory with Bobby. I've got we call her Bobby the Baddie. That's what they call her on Facebook. But she cooks all these wonderful meals. Therefore, incredible price. Wow. Bobby Francis. So all the Francis kids, all of them were athletes. Our coach and taught them, but their mom makes these excellent meals that are cheap, and she makes large meals and does catering. So she's doing the meal prep for him to trim him down and turn his 315 from 315 of extra thickness to 315 of extra muscle. So we do all those type of things as well. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. But there are many other things that I don't have enough time in the day to tell you about all the things we do. But anybody that calls me, emails me, texts me, I can go into that. And like I said, we are the cheapest in the world with a money back guarantee. So in a nutshell, that's how I got into it. And that's what we do.
Yeah, I like that, Coach. And I feel like, I wish, like I said earlier, I wish that you were a part of this program. I don't know, we talked about it before. Yes. Like how we just wish that this was a part of something that we had, an advantage that we could have had taken, or something, an opportunity that we could have taken advantage of when I was at high school. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is a steal. Because, when I was a college athlete and I was looking for recruiting and all this other stuff, there weren't a lot of people looking. But if I had access to go to maybe like a D2 or another D3 or any other school and get the proper funding for it to go, I would have went flying colors. Sorry, people that went to Barton with me, I would have never went with you. I went where the money was going, and honestly, where the money resides.
Yes. And
that's where I would have went.
Yeah, and the thing that's crazy, people don't know that. Yeah, they have no idea that they have options. Like if we would have had this program when I was at Kestrel, every kid that fit certain criteria for academics, athletics, combination of both, ACT, SAT, writing essays to get money, they all would have gotten a guaranteed scholarship to go to college. It's too many schools out here. Yeah. And we have too many people that are involved in this. We have the best, I'm talking about Hall of Famers, from swimming, diving, tennis, football, baseball. They do our film study and they give a grade. So they would have looked at your basketball film, TJ, giving us a grade and say, okay, he probably needs to go to JUCO first, or maybe we can do D3, or maybe he can do a D2. Even better, he might be able to slide into an NAIA and get a full ticket or half or whatever and get a combination of things because you had good grades. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people don't know that, but our scouts, they are the best in the world at what they do.
And that's key. That's key, because that's something that I never knew when I was looking when I was playing basketball and whatnot, because that's one of the things I really wanted. I really wanted the scholarship to go to college, but my eyes were too big and my skills was very limited to go to where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to UNC. Well, but it wouldn't have never happened.
Well, that's the thing we say in prime time all the time. We're looking for those who are looking for us.
That's good.
So you trying to go to UNC or Stanford, Boise State, if they're not looking for you, why are you looking at them? Because they're not, and people don't know that a lot of these schools or those so-called big-time Division I's, they have recruited kids since the 7th grade. So they have relationships. Yeah. And we know for a fact that one particular school that wins a lot of national championships, I don't want to say their name and get in trouble, but we know that this coach and those coaches, they interview or have kids come to camp at grade 7.
Yeah.
Grade 7. And they've been coming grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, the whole thing. So when it's time to go, everything's relationship. Yeah. So we have that same relationship with these schools, with these administrators, and they believe what we say about kids. And we say, this is a good fit. This is the kid you need to look at. If they don't like it, we go to the next one. And so, you know, that's what we do. So, but the pros that we have in this, it's immaculate. It's incredible. And I'm just humbled to be a part of it. And that God allowed me in, and Coach Everett saw something in me that he brought out, and which I've always wanted to be in the first place, was be a scout. I never talked about a lot with people, but that's what I've always wanted to do, was scout. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I always saw that you would eventually get into it because you had a great eye for not just for talent, but, you know, a great eye to help people, a great heart to help people as well. Because you have always been, as you saw, as everyone that's listening or watching, if you're watching via Facebook or on YouTube, you've seen the comments of all of his former students just saying, "Hey, coach, we love you." It's just a testament to show just how great of a man that he is. He has always been like this for all of his students. If he's like this for all of his students, for every single person that he has encountered, you can trust this man with your own kid to make sure that he's going to take great care of them and make sure that he sees them through from start to finish. So like I said, I wish that this was something that I had when I was in college or when I was going to college. And this isn't just limited to you know, your major sports, basketball, football. You know, it's all sports. You know, there's scholarships out there. There's money out there for all sports. If you're a tennis player, there's a scholarship out there for you, and they're here to help you with that. Or if you play soccer, if you play baseball, you know, there's money out there that's on the table. And sadly, and I remember when I was in high school, one of our well, she was the only our only counselor, high school counselor at the time. She was telling us that there's money out there. The sad thing is that nobody's really applying for it or trying to get it. And you know, you guys are you know, are in lockstep with that. You know, there's a ton of money out there for a lot of kids to go to college and not be in debt when they come out. And not only that, but you're guaranteeing that you will help them if they don't go pro. For whatever reason, you will help them to transition into an internship, to transition into a role outside of college, which is key. You know, not a lot of people are doing that. I don't think anyone is doing that. I love it. Like, I'm thinking about it. Like that's just powerful. But I know, Marcus, you want to you had a question for Coach because you said you was a you was a football star.
Yeah, man. I man, listening to all of this, Coach, man, I'm like, I would have loved to have met you. I'm from Jersey, and you know, I had some good things happen for me. I was very highly recruited. I was a high recruit for football. However, because if I would have had the internship, or if I would have understood how to pick a college back then, you know, because what I end up happening, just a little bit of my story, I signed to Michigan University my junior year in high school. But I end up transferring to Rutgers University because of academics, because I end up going out there. I'm not going to put nobody on blast because I know we live right now. But I went out there. I went out there to the school. I signed to Coach Carr. And I don't know if you remember that time. Coach Carr had just stopped. They won some type of bowl, but he stopped coaching. He retired. And so Coach Rodriguez was the one to take over. So, you know, I had signed to Coach Carr because when I got there, I was like, man, this is the perfect fit. Everything seems well. They was welcoming. They was going to give me my number, all that good stuff, man. But what ended up happening was, you know, the switch happened. So I visited other schools, and everything, I ended up visiting Tennessee. And when you was talking about it, I was laughing because you are so right, man. When I tell you it's a very competitive school and they don't play. They don't play. I mean, if you walk on that field, you feel the vibrations, like literally. It's live out there, man. It's live, and I loved it. And that was another pick that I was going to pick, but however, I end up going because what happened was I was short a half a credit with my SAT scores and my grades. I was a half a credit short to be eligible for where I wanted to be. And what they end up doing, they told me, and I believed it. You know, they said, if you go and take this class, you should be good. But, you know, long story short, I didn't end up there. I ended up at Rutgers. But by that time, I didn't really have anyone pushing me and different things of that nature. So I kind of beat myself up, you know, just going through those phases, you know. And I had people in my corner, but didn't really know that, you know, that level. So this program, let me say, guys, I'm a fireball if you don't know. But this program, if y'all are listening, please talk to this man, because not only will he get you in a great school or a great fit, but for your future, because there's a lot of football players, there's a lot of basketball players who didn't make it, who feel like that was it. And that's a hard thing when you feel like that was it, and it's hard to bounce back from that, because it goes from one transfer to another, and then you end up being in a place where, like, okay, God, all right, what am I going to do next? You know, and then you go through different phases. So I mean, I didn't really have a question. I'm just more excited, you know, because I want, you know, for me, I'm in a great place now. So I want, you know, children, you know, to take advantage of this, and it's about our next generation and building, you know what I mean, and understanding what you have and the different opportunities that are out there. Don't be one-minded, you know, don't have a one-track mind. You know what I mean? Be open to different things, because you never know. Just because you go to a JUCO or different things of that nature, don't mean you can't reach your destination. Exactly. Period. It's all about your work ethic. That's all. When I was in Division I, it's just about work ethic. That's it. If you don't have the work ethic, I don't care how talented you are, you know, it's not going to work for you, because nobody's going to baby you. You're going to have to grow up. That's it, man. That's all I got to say, man. You go ahead, man.
No, you're right on time. It's funny you talk about transparency. What would have happened with you? We would have vetted Michigan, vetted Tennessee, vetted all these schools. You were a couple points shy from this or that. So we would have had you in some type of tutoring to get the points you needed, to get the things you needed. And if you couldn't go that route, then we would have went maybe possibly prep school, get you a little prep, get you ready, or then in the JUCO if we needed to, if you still weren't ready. But either way, we would have got you what you needed to be able to go to that level, since you had the talent. But it's like I said, the academic side was missing. Yeah, I was a horrible test taker. Yeah. I don't even know why Stanford was looking for me. I don't know what. Y'all out your mind? Are you serious? You gotta be kidding me, Stanford. I was looking at that. I said, "Oh, that's not gonna happen." I threw that across the room. Right. You out your mind? What? The Duke of the West, you out your mind? But they wanted me. I had great grades in high school. All my sciences A's. All my maths A's. History, I didn't really care. It was boring. You know, word history, loved that, but. Dude, that standardized testing, that wasn't my forte. And how many kids, that's the stick in the mud for them. And it's funny, TJ, you said Miss Vines. Miss Vines is, as of right now, one of our provisional scouts right now. She just came in today with all her expertise. I talked to her today. And what was so powerful, out of all the people I've ever done, interviewed, talked to, she said this: "Coach, how do I help?" I said, no one has ever said that. That's the first. I've talked to maybe 1,000 people the way we're talking now, doing this interview, presentation, whatever you want to call it. She said, how can I help? And I told her what to do. We also have ex-Kestra coaches, Coach Bobbitt. He's a provisional scout, Coach Wallace as well, and my good buddy, DeMarlo Farrell. Yeah, they're all scouts. Everybody's in training, learning how to do what we did. And for those who are really, really serious and you really want to get in this program, if I can't already say it out, if it's not posted somewhere, I probably should have asked you guys to put it in. But my phone number is 678-749-5387. Again, that's 749-5387. And my email is pts dot, just like my name, Elbert Ellis, @gmail.com. pts dot Elbert Ellis @gmail.com. And there's another thing that's really powerful about what we do. Everybody remembers Steve Jobs. He was the head of one of them crazy companies. I forget the name of it. But, okay, you couldn't call him on the phone.
Right.
If you wanted to. Neither one of us could call that dude on the phone. I guarantee you this. Whether it's 4 o'clock in the morning or 12 p.m., 6 p.m., if you call Coach Mark Everett, my team leader, the owner, big dog of PrimeTime Scouting, if you want to call him, he's going to answer the phone. Wow. Now, how many CEOs answer the phone? None of them. Zero.
None of them.
Nobody. Right. You're not doing. You're going to talk to the secretary. You hope you get to a manager, higher up person, but you can't talk to them. You can talk to him or one of our scouts. We are always available to answer questions, concerns, comments. And I don't know if you guys have any more questions, or someone who's watching, if they have a question, I'll be glad to try to answer it, and that type of thing. Even if I can even have the great Mark Everett, I think he's watching right now. We might be able to get him to pop on and show his face, which would be great. Maybe not. He loves to make me do this stuff. He's a very humble dude. If he ever talked about what he really does for people, people would really fall out. We have conversations. I talk to him every day. I guess in 2018, going in 2019, every day from Monday through Friday, multiple times. And he's always telling me about what he's trying to do for this person, that person. I mean, it's amazing that he knows so many people and so connected, and he really wants to help. All he cares about getting kids in school. I don't know too many people that's the whole main option, getting kids in school. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I that's definitely great. So we'll definitely open it up to some questions. And if anyone has questions, just post them in the comments and I'll put them up here. We got about 5 to 10 minutes left on the show. I do want to take a quick trip down memory lane.
Oh, God.
I just think about the time when we were talking about it before when you had cut me. And one of the
put him on the spot, TJ.
Right. It was funny because when he cut me, I was hurt. I was hurt. Like it was. You talk about somebody that was sad. I was devastated. And it was funny because when he told me at the time, I didn't know half the stuff. The stuff he told me now about why he cut me, I didn't know then. I was just mad. I did not like Coach Ellis at the time. He was not my favorite person. I had a chip on my shoulder. When he cut me, I said, you know what? I'm going to show this man up. And it was funny. The next day, I think it was like the following week, he had practice and he asked us, all of some of the kids that were playing in the gym, come in there and just, play with play against the guys. And I was like, I'm about to show this man what he's missing. As soon as I got the ball, I did not pass it. I went down. I was just destroying everything. It's like, I'm gonna show you what you're missing, but at the same time, that was a great experience for me. At hindsight, looking at the hindsight, I looked at it now and it's like, it really prepared me for, that mentality of just, accepting rejection, accepting those times when, you're just not ready and you have to put in the work to get ready. And so that was one of the things that I definitely, took away from that experience. But, me and Coach, we grew over the years from that. I mean, I love the man to this day.
This is one of the things I never told you, TJ. I got cut in middle school too, just like you did. And my dad put a goal in the backyard. I was pissed off, mad, and my reason for cutting you just were not ready. I wanted to keep you. There was no way in my mind, or even Coach Mitchell, that we could say, okay, he was ready, and we can. No, you weren't ready, and neither was I in that coach's mind. I thought it was favoritism. So I went to work, doing all the things I need to do. The next thing I know, I'm starting basketball at Hillside all 4 years. Yeah, like I said, so and you starting all the other years you were there as well. Yeah, so and all I could do was sit back and watch, and I knew that I made the right decision because of who you became. I didn't want to, But sometimes it's that hard lesson that we have to learn early on so we can make that big move or hold on when it's crunch time.